Floyd outdoing him. He always been.
All his jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting.
Well, I'm telling you, this version of Tank is gonna be dangerous, bruh. If you know about boxing, come on, it is Gervonta Davis.
Claimed that Floyd consistently puts him in lose-lose situations. The results of Mayweather's training are evident. Roach now moves with sharp footwork throws, crisp combinations, and defends with precision, signaling he's focused and ready for war. From the earliest days of his career, Gervonta Davis has contended with manipulation and favoritism at the hands of Floyd Mayweather. What initially appeared to be mentorship gradually morphed into control. Insiders observed how Floyd often positioned Davis in ways that restricted his autonomy. Rather than fostering Davis's individual legacy, Mayweather seemed intent on molding him into a version of himself while keeping him firmly within his shadow.
I know what y'all gonna know. I go that way for a reason. Who's the girl? Who's the girl?
Davis revealed that during sparring sessions with Devin Haney, Mayweather repeatedly stepped in at crucial moments, particularly when Davis began to land clean shots or gain the upper hand. Floyd would call for a pause or otherwise intervene, giving the impression that Haney was being protected. Davis felt robbed of opportunities to shine, even in closed training meant to foster growth. Such interference left Davis feeling consistently undermined by the very figure expected to guide him.
Adrian had the weigh-in. So from his weigh-in, they meet us at the food spot. So from there, we go to the gym. So remind you, they already got this set up. Floyd already got it set up. He already posted on Instagram. It probably was like 100 people in there, and he turned the heat up. That's what Floyd do. He turned the heat up in the gym while you in there. So he turned the heat up. Boom. We spar, but while we sparring, Floyd is in the ring. Like every time I'm punching, Floyd like grab my hand, like yank it back. Whereas though I can't even punch Devin. So it was times that like I catch Devin, boom, or I'm about to swing and Floyd like yank my hand back, or he'll push me to the ropes. Like he was actually like touching me while we were sparring. Like
why?
Like, he was, cause it was like Devin was his guy, cause Devin was training at his gym at the time. So, and he was training with his father. So, Devin was on. I mean, Floyd was on Devin's side.
Sounds
so
like
that's
a conspiracy to me.
Yeah, but. Later down the line, probably about like a couple months. No, this was recently, not recently, but probably like 2 years ago. I asked Devin to like come to like spar me. He was like, "No, I ain't no sparring partner." I had somebody hit him up.
Over time, Davis began to perceive his relationship with Mayweather less as a partnership and more as a carefully engineered system of control. He came to realize that Mayweather always placed himself at the center of every decision, ensuring he retained leverage, be it in matchmaking or media management. Floyd's method appeared to be less about empowering Davis and more about preserving dominance. This growing awareness fueled deep mistrust and an emotional rift.
Floyd outdoing him. He always been like that. You know what I mean? So I gotta focus on what I'm focused on. He already did what he had to do, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Me, if I did what I what he did in the sport, I ain't gonna lie, I'd be the same way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't follow him for like stand to himself and things like that. You know what I mean? But it's also a part of me type thing, like come back and help too. You know what I mean? So it's much love to the whole Mayweather promotion. You know what I mean? Ain't no bad blood type shit. And a lot of people think like when I be tweeting on Instagram, I be mad. I just be talking.
Davis has not shied away from criticizing Mayweather's inability to celebrate others. He believes Floyd's ego prevents him from truly supporting anyone else's success. According to Davis, this mindset heavily influenced Floyd's hesitancy to endorse a rematch with Roach, Rather than acting in Davis's best interest, Floyd seemed more preoccupied with maintaining the spotlight and keeping his protégés in check.
First of all, Floyd don't never want to see no one like a fighter do better than them. Why the say Terrence Crawford should fight Benavidez? That don't make no fucking sense. He don't never want to see nobody be better than him. I'm telling you.
Next in line. This will be next in line.
Is there like a
last question, guys?
Is there like a love-hate like fighter?
Yeah, I love the fighter. Like, I ain't gonna lie, if he was like chill, like he'll be the smoothest, but he's not. You know what I mean? He's a great fighter. And my bad. Cause I don't want to say like he's just a scumbag, but it's like he's a great fighter, and sometimes he can be good, but it's like it's always I'm this.
The split between Davis and Mayweather Promotions wasn't a quiet departure. It was loud, public, and contentious. Heated arguments, veiled social media posts, and disagreements over promotional control made headlines. Davis yearned for autonomy and transparency, while Floyd seemed reluctant to relinquish control. The fallout highlighted the depth of their discord and confirmed for many that their relationship had long since turned toxic.
You know, so I don't want Tank to necessarily leave Mayweather. I think he's in this position because of everything that Mayweather and Leonard Ellerbe have done for him. So I do want him to do what he is saying. Take control of your career. Say that you want Shakur and actually fight Shakur. Say that you want Devin and actually fight Devin. You know, fight these guys. Don't keep making new names. Like, you gave Barrios a chance. You gave Isaac a chance. Like, you know, Gamboa. Like, those aren't the fights that we want.
When Floyd left Bob Arum, it was seen as a good move, becoming his own boss. But when another fighter does it, suddenly it's bad for the sport and disloyal. Davis has questioned the double standards in boxing. What's wrong with Tank wanting to be his own boss? Another close voice echoed this sentiment, calling the relationship very toxic. This insider said, "I don't tweet much, but when I do, it's real. When I tweeted certain things about Tank and Floyd, Tank retweeted them. Because he knows the truth. Their relationship is up and down, back and forth, and it's best for Tank to go his own way."
When Floyd left Bob Arum, it's good for them to do it and become their own boss. And then if another guy does it, it's not good for the sport. He's disloyal. And what's wrong with Tank saying he want to be his own boss? And honestly, I've been there. The relationship between them two is very toxic. It's a toxic relationship. It's up and down and up and down. And I'm not going to elaborate to everything that I know, but it's a very toxic relationship. And that's why when I tweet stuff, I don't tweet often, but when I tweet, I may fire off 50 tweets in the day. And that's why when I tweeted certain things about the relationship, Tank retweeted it because he knows. Like, I'm not just going to say what it is. It's a very toxic relationship. It's back and forth. And I think it will serve him best to go and be his own.
There has long been tension between Davis and Mayweather, from disagreements over opponents to clashing training philosophies. Behind the scenes, they frequently butted heads. Mayweather often second-guessed Davis's decisions, including the choice to rematch Roach. However, Davis's intense preparation for the upcoming bout has even impressed skeptics. Perhaps even Floyd himself. Davis knows what's on the line. Another loss could inflict lasting damage on his legacy.
So the Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach rematch is being targeted for June 21st in Las Vegas. Now, it's good that they're running it back without wasting any time, because Roach absolutely deserves a rematch. I mean, I thought he outboxed Tank the last time around. He came up a division as a gigantic 10-1 underdog, and he was the one on the front foot, landing his jab, the body shots, the combinations, throwing a lot more volume. I had it 7-5 Roach, and the no knockdown in round 9 was the reason it was a draw. If that knockdown was scored, that would have been a decision for Roach. But with all that being said, I do like Tank a lot more in the rematch. I thought he fought way too much on the back foot in the first fight, especially the first few rounds. He would land 1 or 2 punches per round. But as he started becoming the aggressor in the later rounds, he kept landing a lot more left hands and body shots. So Tank just needs to make this a dogfight, get into more exchanges, and that's where he'll land a lot more punches on Roach. When he's sitting on the back foot waiting for a counter, that's where Roach is comfortable and winning most of the rounds. So if Tank can fight the same way he did against Ryan Garcia, rounds 3 to 7, against Mario Barrios in the later rounds, or Frank Martin rounds 4 to 8, if he's the one on the front foot, then I do think he'll stop Roach in the rematch.
Buzz around the rematch has reached a fever pitch. Fans and analysts alike are eager to see how each fighter approaches the second bout. The first fight left too many unanswered questions. With Las Vegas likely to host the rematch, the stakes are higher than ever. This fight is expected to end the rivalry definitively and clarify the trajectory of both men's careers.
You got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? That is it. Lamont, please say that in the second fight. Any questions? You got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? Like, you got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? Like, hey, bro, be on that. Because here's the thing. He never hurt Roach. Roach just waited. And Roach was squared up and turned sideways. And I'm like, oh my God. I didn't think he had that. He was like, I'm like, oh my. And then he just sitting there like, you can't. I know what you're going to do because I've trained with you since we were kids. Tarver beat Roy, but he knew Roy since amateurs. Roy said he never liked fighting sparring partners because they know you so well. I should have listened to Roy.
In their first encounter, Roach surprised many by pushing Davis to his limit. It wasn't just a close fight, it was eye-opening. Roach exposed gaps in Davis's defense and made people wonder whether Davis was plateauing or even declining. The rematch is no longer just a contest, it's a proving ground. Davis must dominate to restore faith while Roach has the chance to rise into elite territory.
Shout out to my man Lamont.
All right, so you sparred Lamont Roach in preparation for his bout with Gervonta Davis. First, what did you think of the fight?
What did I think of the fight? It's a little different for me because it's definitely a point of bias there.
Wait, let me put out a disclaimer. He's from Baltimore.
Definitely, I mean, East Baltimore all day. But I'm looking at it from a point of bias because his dad, Ben Johnson Sr. and all them guys that was down there, coaches Tim and everything like that, they all good people. So I got to know them on a more personal level. And then I get to see like how hard a world champion works. And not only that, to see how he treated his people. So I was going for him just off of personality alone. But everything else, he made me believe in Kent for real. Because me and him have similar personalities. Know what I mean? As far as the ring, you know what I mean? So everything we was ready for, like talking shit and everything like that, because that was coming from me, you know what I'm saying? Me and Lamont, so everything was just everything for real. I think he should have won too, you know what I'm saying? But actually when I was there, I thought they actually was gonna rob, you know what I mean? But you can't, you know what I mean? You can't deceive the people that's there for what they saying for real.
So you felt like he should have got the nod in the decision.
Especially with all the other controversy too. It should have been overturned, but we know how boxing works, but we running it back for a reason, you know what I'm saying?
Davis's team has not taken Roach lightly. His trainer has publicly acknowledged Roach's impressive ring IQ and resilience. Still, they remain confident that Davis only needs to fine-tune certain aspects of his performance. They believe the closeness of the first fight stemmed from executional lapses, not a true skill gap. This time they intend to remove all doubt and deliver a decisive outcome.
It's by Roach and Tank. What do you think the biggest surprise was in the fight?
It wasn't a surprise because we know Roach. It wasn't a surprise. Mm-hmm. Roach can fight. A lot of people think because a person is not popular, they don't exist. There's fighters out there that can rumble. They just got to get the opportunity.
What's the difference makers coming into this fight?
The first fight, I thought, everybody thought Jaleel won. We just got to turn, hit the gears a little harder. We ain't really got to change too much. Just got to put the icing on the cake, Put the icing on the cake this time, that's all. He did enough to win the last fight, but we was in somebody else's territory,
This time around being in Florida, do you feel like it's a mutual zone?
Yeah. It's more of an even playing field in Florida.
Okay. Do you feel like he needs a stoppage to win the fight due to what happened the first time?
Not necessarily a stoppage is good, but not necessarily.
After the first bout, Davis experienced a kind of professional isolation. As criticism grew, many in the boxing world began to distance themselves. Those who once praised him now questioned his ability. This shift in perception cut deep, highlighting how quickly the sport can turn its back when expectations aren't met.
I know a lot of people, look what they did with Gervonta too. I want everybody, all these young fighters that are listening to this, and you could clip this. It's a short part right here.
I got you.
To Ryan could clip this right here. To all you young fighters, look at the amount of love they were giving and sharing to Gervonta Tank Davis prior to the fight. Look at what all the reporters were doing prior to the fight. Look how they were all laughing at all his jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting to down this man. Down him. See, I'm going to talk my smack with Tank, but that's because I want to fight him. That's me. I can say that. But I just want all you young fighters to really look about it. They don't care about us.
Yeah.
They won't ever care about us. When you winning, they're going to be there. But they're waiting for any moment to slip up. Just a man, even a draw. Look how much hate he got out of it.
Yeah, not to get deep, but you know, it's a part of our psychology. We have to learn how to care about other people. You know what I mean?
During the time of the first fight, Davis was mentally and emotionally exhausted. He admitted that his focus was scattered and his physical condition was compromised. He even considered therapy and taking a break from boxing. These struggles added pressure hidden from the public eye. The upcoming rematch offers Davis the chance to fight as his true self with a clear mind and renewed energy.
And he wants to do therapy. He wants to do real estate. They want to say he wasn't all in because him and Roach are friends, and he's going to be focused for the second fight. A lot of excuses. They want to say it's because of the braids, you know, the oil getting in his eye. Whatever. This is what really happened. And I just now came to this conclusion because I've been making some other videos for Patreon, but Lamont Roach posted a video recently on...
Roach entered the first fight with a calculated game plan. He exploited Davis's delayed reactions and diminishing stamina in the later rounds. These weren't random weaknesses. They were carefully targeted vulnerabilities Roach's success raised. Serious concerns about Davis's durability, the rematch will reveal whether Davis has addressed those issues or if Roach will outmaneuver him once again.
I don't know if Lamont Roach exposed weaknesses of Tank Davis. It very much reminds me of Rolly Romero versus Ryan Garcia. What Roach did, Rolly was doing the same thing. He ended up implementing it better against Ryan Garcia. Tank was having huge issues, and that's the Black Two Sugars. Watch me call that fight. I started laughing. I couldn't believe it because all he was patient with good power. All Roach was patient. He stayed focused. That's why him drinking and partying and shit is messing with me because he beat him here. He stayed so damn focused. And he knew when Tank was going to punch. He knew when not to punch. And when he countered Tank, he rocked Tank. Tank got rocked at least twice that fight.
Some analysts argue that Davis's stumble in the first fight wasn't entirely Roach's doing. An eye irritation referred to as grease in the eyes impacted his balance and vision rather than a clean knockout. This moment shifted public perception. In Roach's favor, still insiders insist it was not as definitive as it seemed. With that in mind, Davis is now training with intensity and clarity, both literally and figuratively, determined to dominate the rematch and reassert his place at the top.
People keep saying like Lamont dang near like beat Tank like clean. Like basically like we seen it like, yeah, he did Tank that one, but like Tank was limping out the ring. Bro, he didn't even get over on Tank for real. Y'all only saying that because Tank took the knee. And when Tank took the knee, it wasn't how like Ryan Garcia was when he took the knee once Tank went to his body. It was like, dang, like I'm taking him to get right back up. Can you do that in boxing? No. But y'all can't say that basically that, oh yeah, he won because of the knee. That shows that people just want to see Tank lose, bruh. Cause y'all betting y'all money on basically Tank losing because of that knee. Yes, it was a good fight. Yes, I'm not gonna lie. Lamont was defending himself like he's skilled. But, bro, he ain't walk all over Tank. Tank, bro, if y'all go back and watch the highlights, I just watched the highlights last night.